to basically, you can say, a test, what's going on and what's on my mind. So, hey, this is it. You know, for a lot of people out there that know me, families and my friends and stuff like that, I've been dealing with cancer since 2014. Not only have I been dealing with cancer, I had a stroke in 2014. So I've been going through a lot since 2000, April 2014. And I had to reflect on a lot of things, especially about my family, uh, my loved ones, and most of all, God. I had to find out whether or not, if I was good with God, you know what I'm saying, if something were to happen or something was to change where it would cause to my demise. And it struck me like, am I really good with God? Are we really good with God? Well, we don't know that answer until, something dramatic or something bad happens in our lives to make us reflect or make us think that uh, we have to do something about what our future lies for us. So, with that being said, I did a lot of reflection. And like I said, I've been going through a lot of things since 2014. I can't even tell you the number of times I've been in the hospital. This is September 2018. As of to date, I've probably been in the hospital probably 10 to 15 times this year. And that's real talk. That's honest, like for real. So with that being said, I've been going through a lot of things, and I've been talking to God, and I've been trying to get answers, because when this thing happened back in 2014, it just didn't change my life for the worse. It changed my life for the better, because when I thought I was losing all the good things in life, when I thought that uh, all the good things that I was doing, to support my family, to take care of my wife, take care of my kids, or whatever, when I felt like all of that was being taken from me. And not only that, my body, because along with the cancer came a few more, um, how can I say it, a few more advertisements that I had to go through, learning that, my whole thoracic system, which is my back, my spinal system, is basically broken up. Um, I'm not even supposed to be talking to you guys, moving around the way that I'm moving around. I'm not even supposed to be walking. So that right there made me reflect back to God, because at the end of the day, the only really important thing that was going on in my mind was I right with God? Um, at that time, you know, you really wonder, if your wife or if your kids, if they really love you, you ask yourself these questions. You go out through life, trying to figure out, is it just an act or is it just a front, or are people pretending about who they want to be in your life and things of that nature? We all second guess ourselves about that, and we know that. But this is the deal. When when I had my stroke, I had my stroke first April 13th, 2014. I never forget it. And when I had my stroke, my son was there to witness it. And that's when I found out about the love that my son had for me. It makes me a little emotional. So, just bear with me out. I knew that at the end of the day, my son loved me. And everybody wants to know that. I was a hard person. I believe in discipline. I believe in, there's a right to a wrong. There's a wrong to a right. I believe, just like they say, what goes up must come down. Well, we're in the world that we live in, that's absolutely true. Karma is amazing thing. It could be good, it could be bad. It could be in between. Karma doesn't have a. You can't put a label on karma because karma has its own structure. And the reason for that being is because there's a lot of people out here that does a lot of crazy things to people. Not I don't know if they know they're doing it. I don't know if they're doing it intentionally, but I don't know. But people are doing a lot of crazy things to people right now these days. So um, that day I found out, like, yeah, my son loves me, my kids, my wife loves me. Well, at that time I was having a stroke, believe it or not. My wife was in the hospital because she was having symptoms of stroke. And it was a Sunday night. I'll never forget it. And it was doing some April, springtime, April 13th. So, daylight was like to 8:30 in the evening or whatever at that time. So uh, my wife came to me. She was like, I'm not feeling good. I'm not, I don't know what's going on. I was like, well, you want to go whatever? She was like, well, I'm going to take my blood pressure medicine. And if it don't, if I don't feel better, then I'm going to go to the emergency room. So I said, okay, that's, when you're ready, I'll go with you. So she comes to me and she said, baby, I'm not feeling right. Feeling like I'm having some shade, got on the toilet or whatever, jumped in the shower, and I'm, taking my shower. I get out the shower. And so when I close my door, my son was in the basement at this time. Uh, God works in mysterious ways. So you can take it how you want to take it, or brand it how you want to brand it. But before all of this happened, right before my wife left out to go, my son asked her for $10 so he can put some gas in his car so he can get around and do what he do. Well, she told him, boy, I ain't giving you nothing now. No. So if she would have gave him that $10, he wouldn't have been there at this time. So I get out the shop and I close my door, because of course I'm naked or whatever. And I flop on my bed. And the first thing I grab is my phone. I call my wife and find out, what's going on, how she doing or whatever. And that's what I did. So I gave her a call and she said, they just getting me to the back and blase, blase this and blase, blase that. I'm like, okay, well, keep me informed. So as I hung up from talking to my wife, I had my phone in my hand. And I would say probably 2 minutes later, my phone started moving to me. Like my phone is in my hand, and it seemed like my phone was moving away from me. So as that was happening, I was trying to reach for my phone, and I reached for it, my hand, but I couldn't touch the screen. So I'm like, okay, what the hell? I wasn't in any pain. I didn't have any no crazy euphoria, nothing like that. It just felt strange. So I go to reach for my phone again, and I can't. So I say, okay, Arthur, something ain't right. Uh, you need to get up and you just get up because something ain't right. So I go to get up, and when I go to get up, I couldn't get up. I fell back into the bed. I've always been athletic. I've always worked out. Uh, I always had a self being strong, being able to take care of yourself. Uh, especially where I grew up from. So that's a whole different story. We'll talk about that later, and we'll get a chance to talk about that later. But yeah, so I'm knowing something wrong now. At this time, my right side ain't functioning. It ain't doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm not that person that, flips out, get hysterical. I've never been that person. Uh, I'm the type of person that when something happened or something is going on, my mind slows down, believe it or not. And I see everything in slow motion. So I really never, ever panic. You know, there's only one time in my life that I did. And we'll talk about that too later. But I'm never that guy to panic. I'm out being aware of my surroundings and what's going on. So as I'm thinking, I'm telling myself, hey, I'm calling my son. My son is not hearing me because he's in the basement and my door was closed. If my door was open, it would have been a different closed. And the part of the basement that he was on was the opposite side of the house. So he couldn't hear me calling. I couldn't use my phone because if I'm not mistaken, I had a fingerprint lock. And at that time, I couldn't move my right side. So it was crazy. I couldn't use my phone to call anybody because of the situation that was going on. So I'm looking over at the door and I'm saying to myself, you got to get this door open, or you got to, you may end up hurting yourself, but you got to get this door lifting and all of that. I tossed myself. I tossed myself out of the bed. When I tossed myself out of the bed, and I end up being on my left side, that was a problem. On push-ups, these things a lot of people not able to do. Hey, get up and get this door open. Push yourself up. And I got to go to the bathroom. So get me to the bathroom. So before I can tell him what's going on, he's getting me to the bathroom. And I get to the bathroom and I'm telling him I need you to get my clothes. I'm not telling him that I don't feel my right side. So he lets me go. When he lets me go, I fall. I hit the ground immediately. Boom. Thank the God that it wasn't a bad fall, but I fell. So he grabbed me again and he got me to the living room, got me on the couch. And when I told him to go get my clothes, he panicked and he like, he don't know what to do. So I told him, go get my clothes, help me get my clothes on. And you called the ambulance, right? He was like, yeah. So he called the ambulance and I'm on my way to the hospital. Prior to that, doing all that, the paramedics, they come in, they come with a police officer or whatever. And, they tested my vitals and everything is normal. I'm calm. I'm not, my blood pressure is normal, heart rate normal. Everything is normal. It's like, so the first thing comes out of his mouth is, Mr. You on any drugs? And I said, man, do it look like I'm on any type of drugs? And when I said that, he looked at me, he's like, oh, he's stroking. He's stroking. I'm like, stroking? What you mean stroking? So, like, yeah, we need to get you. So they bring the bed in or whatever. And so, you got two paramedics, the police, and my son. I'm 270 pounds, 6 feet, 270 pounds. I'm a pretty heavy sized man. And they get me on the gurney, and instead of him doing what he's supposed to be doing and making sure that I'm secure, he walked away from the stretcher. And when he did that, by my leg being dead, it fell off the stretcher and lifted me in an upright position. At that time, we knew it was real serious. So got to the hospital, wife running through the hospital with her gown on, like, what's going on? And woo, 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 woo. So the first quarter of the year that I had to experience, that was a tragedy. And what I'll do is I'll come back with part 2 of this story because something just came I had to attend to. But I will be back with part 2. I know where I left off at. I left off at me getting to the hospital. So if y'all enjoyed this, I'll be back with some more. And yeah, I'll be back. Something just came up. So peace.